What's up, everybody? We are the Hypes Watch, and we are here with our episode or our Week 4 Q&A. Just as a disclaimer, we would like there to be no discussion of the leaked episode from last night. If people that don't know, episode 5 was leaked, and we just don't want that in the chat room because some of us are trying to avoid it, and also there might be other people in the chat room that are trying to avoid it. So just a warning now. If we see it, I'll try to give you a warning, and if I see it twice, I think we got to kick you out of the chat room. So just try not to spoil anything for the people that want to be spoiled. That being said, my name is James Michelle. I'm here with my fellow Hypes Watch members, and they will go ahead and introduce themselves. Ladies first.
Hey everyone, it's T. Glad to be here to answer all you guys' questions. If you hear something growling, it's my cat. So she's being a real baby again today, so excuse her.
Hey everyone, it's Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat here. And you know what? Try not. Don't even do. Just do not. Do not spoil, or else we will take action required.
Valonqar, everybody. John Willie back again, and of course, glad to be with my fellow members of the Hypes Watch, and yeah, glad to answer some questions. And don't ask because no, I'm not watching the episodes until it comes on tonight at 9.
Yeah, so we do have a couple questions to start us off, so make sure you guys, if you have any questions, to leave it in the chat. I will be writing them down throughout the episode. And no, we won't be, obviously we're not going to be answering any questions that pertain to episode 5. First off, we haven't seen it, nor do we want any spoilers from your questions.
We'll ask predictions for episode 5. We'll take prediction questions for episode 5. That's about it.
Yeah, just like, yeah. So our first question comes from David Adams, and well, some people know the answer to this question, but we don't. But will the next episode contain the showdown at the Sept? We will start with T on this one.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to focus more on the north with Bran and with Arya and all of that. So I think if we do see something in King's Landing, it's just going to be leading up to it again. I don't think they're going to pack everything in this episode.
Jerry?
No, we actually they released some synopsises for later episodes. One of them sounds like it could be the showdown at the Sept. It may not be. It could be this episode, but I'm going to guess, based on that synopsis I saw, that we're going to get it in one of the later episodes.
Don Willie?
Personally, I think we are going to see a showdown at the Sept, but not the one that's going to be all violent. I think this is going to be, part of Cersei's plan where she lied to the small council to get them to take action to make the Tyrells look like idiots. So the Tyrell army is going to show up. They're going to be all rah, give us Queen Marjorie back, and then the High Septon is going to wheel out Marjorie and be like, yeah, you didn't even have to do any of this. I was going to let her go anyway. So I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think, doesn't Jaime need to get going to the Riverlands pretty soon? This is the halfway mark of the season. I'm thinking we got to get this going here pretty soon. So I'm gonna say maybe, yeah. Hopefully within the next 2 episodes at least. But yeah.
Maybe that gift that Littlefinger was talking about is going to be his teleporter he's going to leave behind. He's going to have a special gift, and Jaime's going to be able to use it. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, I don't even think it needs to be gifted because it just seems like everybody uses it. So it's just somewhere magically if the teleporter teleports to those who need to be teleported. It's like teleporterception.
Like Theon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've answered that question. We will move on to the next one, which is from Moeji Osman. And he asks, who will be the other major death this season other than Ramsay? We'll start with Jerry on this one.
Well, I mean, what do we consider? Like, where do we start? Is Pycelle considered major? Is Kevin considered major? Tommen considered major? I mean, those are all goners, I believe, at this season. Let me see here. I'm thinking one of the Iron Island trio is going to go out. Either it's going to be, and I think it's either going to be Yara or Theon. Probably Yara. Who else could go out? I don't think Littlefinger's going to get it. I think he's going to squirm his way to another season. Obviously, Jon, Sansa, Arya, all of them's not going to get it. Jaqen, there's one. Jaqen may get it.
Don Willie?
For this one, you know what? I think that, I mean, Rickon, you know, I think that's a little too obvious at this particular point.
Rickon.
Yeah, who else? You know what? I'm thinking somebody in Marine. Either Missandei or Grey Worm, I think, is going to wind up getting it.
Hopefully Grey Worm.
I'm trying to think who else. I mean, well, yeah, Jerry, I do agree. You know, either Jaqen or the Wave, somebody from the Faceless Man, because I think Arya needs to make her escape back to Westeros, and I don't think she can do that without killing someone from the House of Black and White. And if I had to take any other guesses...
Oh, I forgot Jorah and Daario. Someone from there. Don Willie, who do you think?
Jorah and oh man, you know what? I think both could go. I think both of them could wind up going, especially if Dany is going to be going back to Westeros. Those are not two people that she can really have with her if she takes flight to Westeros at the end of this season. So I think both of them are on the chopping block. At different times, though.
T?
Well, Jerry took my answer because I was thinking either it was probably going to be the Wave or Jorah, because Jorah's been seen, he's losing his strength. He can't fight no more. The stone herpes are now crawling up his arm. I'm cool with Jorah, but I'm over him. So if anyone can go, it should be him.
All right. Well, I just feel like episode 9 or 10, like someone major's gonna die, like someone of like someone of some real significance. And if it's true that there was some talk that they had all the titles, they just haven't released them yet, and that episode 9, or no, was it either episode 9 or 10 was entitled valonqar. Now, if that's true, if we see that's the case, I mean, I think we can make a case. I know a lot of people don't think Cersei will die this season, but I think we can make a case for it if that's true, if it's truly entitled valonqar. But yeah, I mean, Kevin and Pycelle, I think those are like slam dunks that they're goners. I'm gonna say it's Daario that dies this season. And there's actually a question. We'll just kind of tie it into this one. It's from Corinne Hayes, and do you think Jorah will kill Daario?
Yeah. Well, one thing about that valonqar thing, I think that could signal Tommen's death, actually. valonqar, little brother.
Well, I think
Tommen, boom.
I think Tommen's dead this season, regardless.
Well, I mean, that'll signal when he's gonna die.
Yeah. I think Tommen's dead this season. Do you guys all think that?
Yeah, I think that he's dead this season. But I mean, remember also, valonqar, could be referring to Loras as well. I mean, look, we got that.
He's not a little brother though in the show.
Yeah, no, he's younger than Marjorie in the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, then I don't know.
I think he's dead too.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna die this season. Because if he dies, Lannister have like no one can really be the king or queen or regent because they have no one tied to the throne anymore. But if you're talking about that episode, I'm thinking it might be Rickon.
Another little brother.
All right. Well, like I said, we're going to kind of tie in the will Jorah kill Dario question from Kryn Hayes, and I say yes because, like I said, I believe Dario is the Harpy, and I believe that Jorah kind of foreshadowed Dario's death earlier in the season when he said, when Dario said, "Oh, when I'm your age, blah blah blah," and he says, "If you get that old," I think that was a foreshadowing of Jorah going to be the one to kill Dario. I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but. Go for it, whoever wants to go.
Let T go. She's expert here.
Wait, what happened? I'm sorry.
Dario.
Sorry.
Well, it was just, well, Dario killed Jorah, and my stance. I believe Dario was the Harpy, and Jorah was killing him was foreshadowed earlier in the season.
Yeah, I do believe Scooby is the Harpy when I start looking back at previous scenes, because he gave her a flower called the Harpy. He was the one that really pushed for the fighting pits to be open. He was a former slave, and if you go back to that scene when they opened the fighting pits, he looked kind of worried, and he keeps looking around, making sure. Looks like he's making sure everything's set in place. As far as Scooby getting killed by Jorah, I don't see it. I just don't think he's strong enough. I think Jorah's the one that goes. But I do see Scooby dying in the end. Like, I don't see him making it.
I don't know if it's going to be Jorah that kills Dario, but I think Dario's definitely getting it. And I think he's going to get it before Jorah for sure, too. The thing about Jorah is we have a suspecting belief that there's going to be a grayscale problem in Westeros thanks to John Connington, and that's why they gave Jorah the grayscale because of that. So I'm thinking Jorah almost has to make it to Westeros unless they cut that plot out altogether. But so we'll see there. Although Jorah could end up killing Dario because Dario knows the secret, so you never know.
Yeah, that's what I kind of believe that Jorah has some plot armor until there's some payoff to his grayscale. Otherwise, it was kind of a wasted plot point. That's just my opinion. Don Willie?
Dorne plot.
Well, yeah, that was definitely wasted. Don Willie?
Well, yeah, look, Jorah with the whole grayscale thing, I mean, I don't think he needs to make it to Westeros. I think his whole thing is to really show how dedicated he is to Daenerys, and this, like him saving her from Dario is going to be like his final redemptive act, for betraying her in season 1. So, for me, I think that's the whole crux of his story is just like, hey, you know what? I did these foul things, and this is my only way of really dying as a true hero. And also because if we're only supposed to have between 13 and 15 episodes after this season, I think it would be a little too much to hamper down on Westeros to now give it a plague on top of the White Walkers. I think with them talking about everything is going to be kind of accelerated. Yeah, it would be way too much. I mean, you're talking about apocalypse inception levels if you throw grayscale on top of the White Walkers, on top of Daenerys and dragons, and so yeah, I don't think Jorah makes it back. I don't think that we get a grayscale epidemic.
Maybe grayscale and the White Walkers might be kind of connected because I know in the North, that like in the books, Val is like, what the hell? There's this grayscale is evil. It's evil. She's like talking about how evil this grayscale is. So you got evil there. You got evil with maybe evil with the others. Maybe there's some connection there, or maybe there's two separate evils. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, maybe it's possible what Don Willie's saying. Like, they kind of came up with this plot point. They kind of had this plan for what they were going to do with it, and then they're like, oh no, we're going to be shortening the seasons. So now it's like kind of they're going to throw it by the wayside. But we'll just have to wait and see how that all unfolds. Do you have something to say, T?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just in his misery, I'm so tired of Jorah chasing after Dany and keep getting hit in the friend zone and stuff. I'm just over it. He's touching stuff, and I think the main thing that irritates me that he knows he has it and he keeps touching things, and for some reason the show is there's no consequences. Like, it's not that bad, but it looks disgusting. I'm just ready for him to go.
Alrighty, we will move on to the next question, and this is from Bobby Lyons, and he asks, will Tormund succeed at getting with Brienne? He wants her to have his baby so bad. So we will start with T on this one, the Tormund fan.
They're not having babies, guys. Like, ew. It was cute, I get it, because, Bren's like a tall chick he digs and she fights and he's kind of into that. I get it, but I think in the show they're going to be going separate ways. She doesn't even seem attracted to him, to be honest. I still think she has more love for Jaime. I'm not really worried, but I thought it was a cool scene, like him giving her the people's eyebrows and everything.
And he was really eating that chicken quite seductively. Jerry?
I think, yeah, maybe. Brienne needs a hard dose of reality on when it comes to the... She's always going for the best-looking dudes in the realm, so I don't know. Maybe she'll go with Tormund, be like, yeah, okay. A little bit more my style here, a little bit more my kind of guy. But I don't know. I know that people have made this bear connection with him, Tormund claims he fucked a bear, then that Bran fought a bear, and then, the bear in the Maiden Fair. I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe there's a missing piece to it, missing link to them. Like a bear needs to be added into this relationship somehow. I don't know. It's weird.
No bears. Don Willie?
They need to slay a bear together or something. I don't know. Brings them together.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm predicting that, Brienne gets attacked by another bear, Tormund saves her, they fall in love, and then they have little bear babies, so there you go. Hashtag Rebane confirmed.
It's like that new Leo movie, except better.
That's nothing but pure hate. He doesn't want our love to flourish. Shame.
Well, I am not a Brebaner, and I believe in the synopsis, the little brief synopsis of this video says Brienne gets a mission, so I think she's going to be leaving the North this episode, taking Littlefinger's teleporter, and I think that it was just a cool, comedic, little comedy relief, and maybe in the future there might be something come out of it, but I think in the short run at least, it's not going to be going very far. I think it's just kind of, they might even have maybe a brief scene where Tormund looks sad when she's leaving or something. This episode, that'd be pretty funny to see. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Anyone else have anything else to say about Brebane?
What if he takes Tormund with her?
Oh, go ahead.
I said, what if he takes Tormund with her on the mission?
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think Tormund's going to be right-hand man with Jon at the Battle of Winterfell. Yeah.
It's never going to happen, guys. I know it was a cool scene. It was funny. It's never going to happen. And I think y'all just don't want me to have true love, but it's never going to happen. They're going to part ways. Like I said, I don't know what live stream I was on, but I am more concerned about the bromance between Jon and Tormund more than, with Brienne. I think once they separate, she's not really going to think of him And then once she gets
So-
back with Jamie, you know, it's curtains.
So you're about the Torsno.
Yeah.
Wait.
So,
So you think John has a? So you think John and Tormund have a better chance of getting together than John and than Tormund and Brienne?
so when John was resurrected, he got brought back gay. Is that what we're saying?
And apparently Tormund has been gay this whole time.
It was a
It
male.
could happen. I mean, I'm down for gay couples on this show. Why not?
But then the question remains: then how in the world would you and him have true love if he's with Jon Snow?
You saying gay people can't have true love?
No,
'Cause I
I'm
think
saying
they can have true love. I'm
True
just
love with
saying.
each
I
other.
think that they would be better.
no. I said how
No,
can
it's just
you have true love if he's with Jon Snow? How in the world can you and Tormund get together if he's with Jon Snow?
I said I'm
Someone's
more
got to carry that baby.
I didn't say it was going to happen. You guys keep making him like go to this person and that person. It's not
I think-
happening either way. I'm just saying I'm more concerned about him and John than him and Ren.
I think what T is saying is like Tormund John is like Paul Rudd and Jason Segel and I Love You Man. It's like a bromance.
Perfect reference. I love that movie too.
Indeed.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Sorry.
I forgot. I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So T, what are you gonna? If the scene where Brienne gets a mission, it starts out with like them walking into a room and you just open the room and Tormund and Brienne are just going at it. How are you gonna react to that?
If it's such a big if, then I'll just be like, okay, hands up, like it just happens. I'm not gonna get in between true love, but that's such a strong if that I highly doubt it. But I know y'all probably want that because y'all don't want to see me happy.
It could just be like like a
Well, you might
a
get
moment
some,
of passion,
yeah.
not necessarily true love.
You might get some new Tormund. That might make you happy.
Yeah. Well, we are going to move away from Bane and Tor Snow and just move on to Alicia Kingston's question, which is, when do you guys think the battle at Winterfell will happen? And we will start with Don Willie on this one.
So look, it's looking like possibly episode 6 or 7. You know, because from the preview that we got for tonight's episode, it didn't show anything for that. So it's got to happen soon. And God damn you, Dan and Dave, for screwing over Rickon like that. But yeah, 6 or 7. I think they're saving whatever they have for episodes 9 and 10 until later. So 6 and 7, I'm thinking is going to be the battle at Winterfell. One of those two.
Jerry?
No, I've been a strong believer in the Sansa is going south, or maybe it might just, since Brienne's getting the mission, maybe it's Brienne just going south in Sansa's name, to go get some Riverland people to help him in the Battle of Winter. So I'm going to episode 10. This is going to be the final episode.
T?
Y'all gonna be mad. What was the question?
I'm going to get the Blackfish.
What episode is Battle of Winterfell?
I'm thinking like probably episode 8 or 9. Because that's usually, I feel like they've been like talking about this big battle since last season, that it's probably going to be kind of like how they did Hard Home, where it's probably going to be around 8 or 9 and it's going to be a long battle scene.
I got a question for everyone. Well, James, you answer first, and then I got a question.
Well, I think it's going to be episode 9. I think it's going to be like Watchers on the Wall from season 4, where like the battle's going to encompass one whole episode. That's what I think. But who knows? Until we see descriptions or titles, I mean, it's just all inference. Jerry, what are you going to say?
Okay, what do you think are going to be the components that make up each side? Like, you think Ramsay's... Like, I'll start it first. I think Ramsay's going to have, the Boltons, the Umbers, and the Karstarks on his side. On Jon's side, I think it's going to be the Wildlings, the Mormonts, the Arryns, and then the Riverland people, like Blackfish's people. That'll make up his crew. And then maybe a little bit of Manderly's maybe on Jon's side, maybe switching or something like that. What does everyone else think?
I mean, I think it's pretty much what you said. The one thing I saw that was interesting was I saw it on Twitter or something. There was a roll call. One of the roles they cast, they codenamed it as like I don't know, something like Rufus or some Roland or some shit like that, and it said Northern Lord who gives a stirring speech. So I definitely think we're going to get some Manderly action. I think there'll be a pretty big component of Jon's army.
I would have said the phrase too, but then Ramsay ended up killing Walda. So I don't know about that anymore.
No, I don't know. I still have a feeling they're going to have they do love them some Ramsay High. Kind of fandangle his way out of that whole situation. He'll come up with some stupid lie that'll work. That's how the show will. They'll just make it work, even though it would seem legit. Logically it shouldn't work. I think they'll make it work. T or Don Willie? All right, we will.
Ramsay High, huh?
Ramsay High. All right, we will go quickly answer our fellow Hypes Watch brother, Sir L.T. Giles' question. It is, will we see the elder brother tonight? I think we can quickly answer this one. I'm going to say no, because there's an episode coming up called The Broken Man, and I believe we all believe that is when we're going to see the elder brother.
Agreed. No, nothing further for me to add.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree on that one.
We are all in agreement. Sorry,
Right
LT.
on.
Quickest answer ever.
Yeah. The North Remembers asks, what do you think will happen with Sansa and Littlefinger? We're going to go with Mr. Peter Baelish fan himself, Don Willie, first on this one.
All right, so look, I think he's going to come back and apologize and say, look, I really did not know that Ramsay was going to be that big of an asshole. I thought that he was going to treat you better, given your position and the fact that he really needed you in order to hold on to the North. And he's like, look, I brought the Vale Army to come in and rescue you, but apparently you don't need my rescuing. But hey, look, if you want to, have these guys to help you take back Winterfell, we will do that. And remember, I'm Lord Paramount of the Trident, so I can bring some more Riverland forces if we need. And I think she's going to, after her experience, be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to use this guy until I don't need him anymore. And the moment that I don't need him anymore, I will be done with him, one way or another.
T?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with them because I think Sansa's going to work him. Sansa is not playing any games anymore. Littlefinger did put her into Ramsay's hands. So I think in the back of her mind, she's probably still going to blame him to a certain extent. So when it was a picture where they're just standing next to each other, and I just think that she's going to work him. I think she's going to force his hand so that he does help her. And then, like Don Willie said, like after that, when she has no need for him, he's done. Because you have to also think about the Moon Door scene where Liza told her everything.
Well, hopefully she remembers that. She has never really said she remembered that. But yeah, Jerry?
Well, I mean, if you look back, it's like we've seen in the previews, she's going to say, well, did you know about Ramsay? And all he has to do is be like, go rewatch season 5. I specifically said the stupid thing of, no, I don't know much about Ramsay. She already told him he don't know much about Ramsay. So I think he's going to play that, and he's going to be like, he's going to Littlefinger. He should at least Littlefinger his way to get back in Sansa's good graces. So I think he'll do that. You never know with the show. The show sometimes he might say knowledge is power to the wrong people again, but Assuming he acts like Littlefinger, I will say he will get Sansa back on his side. He's like, I got all these Valemen for you, and they're gonna be part of the army. And then he might even be like, you know what? I got a plan for you to get back into the riverlands. Go meet up with your uncle. Uncle Blackfish, and say, or no, maybe Great Uncle Blackfish. Sorry, Great Uncle Blackfish, and plan that Red Wedding Part 2, where against the Freys. I think that's what's going to happen down there.
Yeah, I think I think Littlefinger. I think this coming up, whenever their interactions gonna happen. I guess it's this episode because I didn't really pay attention to the previews, but that's what I'm hearing. I think she's gonna be pissed at him at first, obviously, but then he's gonna be like, hey, I brought the knights to the Vale, and you need men and you need mounted knights to wipe out Winterfell. So she'll bring them back into their inner circle, into the fold. And then I just think eventually, I don't think it's going to be this season, maybe next season or the last season, that it will somehow be revealed, or she'll remember that Littlefinger, essentially plotted the downfall of their family from the start, and he will bite it one day. But I don't think it's this season. Anyone else have any?
The season is not the season he dies.
Yeah. I don't think so. Any last comments, or shall we move on to the next question? All right, we will move on to Eric Flores' question. Will Sansa ask Littlefinger whose houses in the north support Ramsay? Maybe.
That would be a smart question to ask. I mean, yeah, possibly. I mean, that conversation can go so many ways, but, I mean, if Sansa's smart, she'll be like, well, I don't know, because if Littlefinger didn't know about how Ramsay was, how would he really... You know what? I don't know. If he does, that would be a smart question for her to ask. So
I just don't think he would know that the Karstarks and the Umbers are with Ramsay at the moment.
I would agree with T. Like, he didn't even know about Ramsay, but then again, he knows like immediately when Sansa's gone. So, I mean, who really knows with Littlefinger's information? It's just all over the map.
No, it's really who knows with D&D.
I mean, look, Littlefinger has magic powers that people keep forgetting about. When he decides he wants to look into his poison well of drink water to see what's going on, he can find out. For the Ramsay thing, I think because Ramsay is even more evil than Peter Baelish is, it actually cloaked him from his presence. So that's why Littlefinger didn't know anything about him, because he wasn't able to see him in the dark water. Now, now that he is aware of his presence and he is able to figure some things out, he's like, oh, okay, well, now I know what this is all about. And I do think that he knows that the Karstarks and the Umbers are backing the Boltons, and I think he is going to, be fully prepared to hand over that knowledge to Sansa.
Hold on, John Willie. So Littlefinger has some dark water. Is it kind of like that dark water in Winterfell, where that's by the werewood tree? Is it kind of like that, except it's Littlefingered?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you can't drink from it. But you can, if you have the right temperament of just sadistic, reckless abandonment, then you can see what's going on in other parts of the realm. So Littlefinger may not have warging abilities, and he may not be able to touch a heart tree and see things, but he has his cauldron of dark water, and that's what he uses in order to facilitate his needs. I mean, hey, that's how he was able to come up with his teleportation system. Because remember, Littlefinger travel gets you where you need to be.
I just think Dave and Dan they don't know what they're doing with Littlefinger, but you know what? It's none of my business.
Okay. We will move on.
I'm so mad he's 16. How does this teleportation works? I'm so curious.
Well, it just pops out of the sky. It's like the time machine from it's kind of like the time machine from the time machine. It just pops out of nowhere, and then you just sit in it, and then you show up where you need to go. Or the DeLorean shows up. Who knows?
I mean, well, listen, it's a magical thing. There happen to be, I would say 2,700 caves in Westeros, all controlled by Littlefinger. And what happens is, he can point you in the direction of one of these caves, and you will come out wherever it is that you need to be, which is how Theon was able to get on that boat going to the Iron Islands. Now, what this also does is it erases the memories of people around. So for them, you were already there. It's like, yes, you just appeared, and you just appeared, but to them, you were already there the entire time. That's how we were able to get the Sand Snakes in King's Landing to be able to kill Kristen Martell, because Littlefinger's teleporter. They stepped through, they were on the boat, and hey, the people on the ship had no problems with it. They're like, oh yeah, no, you guys came along the whole time. But they knew that they just stepped through the teleporter to kill Trystane. And anytime that you see people in places, you're like, how did they get there? This is impossible. This makes no sense. Littlefinger travel, getting you where you need to be.
It's official. Littlefinger is Doctor Who.
So can I add my little quick question? Who's going to also use Littlefinger air travels?
Whoever they need to, whenever they need it.
I mean, there are a lot of people. Look, I don't think you realize how many people are indebted to Littlefinger. And that's how he's been able to stay around for so long, because, the entire realm is practically indebted to this man in some form or fashion for using those teleportations.
So, I got a question. So, what's going to happen if you throw Littlefinger out the moon door? What's to stop him from just teleporting to the ground safely?
Well, no, because you have to be near one of his caves. And the thing about it is, if you notice, he never just pops into the Eyrie. He pops into the Vale, but he never just pops into the Eyrie. Because, unfortunately for him, there's no cave, high enough, that's on the mountain where the Eyrie sits. So he has to go travel down the mountain, go to the cave in another part of the Vale, and then that's how he's able to move back and forth. Because remember, we always see him come to the Vale and then go to the Eyrie Castle.
So how disappointed will everyone be if we find out there's one of these teleportation caves in Marine?
Oh, I'm not even going to think about it.
Yeah, listen, I don't think that they exist over there. I mean, either that or he doesn't have access to it.
All right, well, I think we're done talking about Littlefinger's teleportation system. We're going to move on to the next question. It is from Outcast Teen 123, and the question is: will we see the Starks or Hodor in the North flashbacks tonight? I think we are, and I guess we're going to find out why he had what trauma happened to make him the way he is. And I think it's going to be a scene with Robert Baratheon as children, and they're going to be doing the training thing that Old Nan didn't want him to do, and he's going to get walloped in the head. And, yeah. What do you guys think? T?
Yeah, I think we are. I think HBO released some promo pictures, and we see him and Bloodraven back at Winterfell, so I think they're going to finish up what happened to Hodor. I'm not really a big fan of the Hodor scene where they try to tell, where he was talking and stuff, but we're going to get a conclusion, I think. I just hope we get more of the Tower of Joy.
Well, that's another question we will answer about the Tower of Joy coming up. Jerry?
Nah, I don't think we'll get answers about Hodor. But we will, yeah. But today, so the original question, we will get answers about, or we will see some. The original question was, will we see Starks in the flashback, right?
Well, no. The question is, will we see Hodor in the flashback?
Yeah, we will see Hodor in the flashback. We won't see why he got hit or why he's Hodored. We won't see what made him Hodored, but we will see him in the flashback, in my opinion.
Don Willie?
Hodor.
Don Willie's got a fever, and the only cure is more Hodor.
I don't think it could be more eloquently said. So I guess we will move on to the next question from Eric Flores, and the question is, who is your first half season 6 MVP? And we'll start with Jerry.
Well, I was gonna say Davos until that stupid scene from last week, but the MVP. Who is the MVP? Let me think. You know what? Come back to me. I gotta think about this.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say mine is Davos. I'm gonna throw away the scene that happened in the previous episode. Aside from that scene, he's been my MVP of the season. T.
Yeah, hands down, I'm gonna say Sansa. Sansa's stepping up and she's taking charge. She's not weak. She's getting everyone riled up. You can see within a day she already has 2,000 army. She's kind of pulling a Daenerys at the moment. So MVP for sure will be Sansa.
Okay, well, listen, I know I'm about to get a lot of hate for this one, but the MVP of the season so far is Ramsay. I mean, listen, Ramsay is the guy who is moving everything forward in Westeros. Nothing moves without Ramsay's leave. Ramsay wants somebody killed, they die. Ramsay wants someone to fight, they fight. Ramsay wants, people to march to war, they march to war. Everything is revolving around Ramsay right now, so Ramsay is the real MVP.
Well, we all know that he is Ramsay Ahai, the Ramsay that was promised, and the last Ramsay. So I can see what you're saying.
I'm going to go with the actor that plays the Night's King. Apparently, he was actually the one who did the sword fighting as Arthur Dayne, from what I heard, from History of Westeros. So I'm going to say he is the MVP for that great fight scene. He was teaching other people how to fight in that fight scene to make it even better. And I think we're getting the Night King tonight, so he's probably going to do something awesome. So let's go with the actor that plays the Night King.
I'm changing my MVP to Pycelle for the Queef, because that was an epic moment. But yeah, we will move on. This question is from the North Remembers, and the question is, in this episode, the question is, when will we see Inside the Tower? And we'll start with Don Willie.
Okay, so I don't think we're going to see Inside the Tower. I think that Dan and Dave are going to just hit us with the, hey, you know what? Mira can tell this one, and she'll wind up telling Bran what he needs to know about that tower.
So you're saying never?
I mean, if not never, then maybe not this season. I think it'll be a thing that they hold off until next season. I think Mira is going to tell Bran some parts of the story that her father told her, and then later on, Bran is going to be like, I need to see the rest. Without Blood Raven or whatever. Because I think from what it looks like, with Bran going into the Weirwoods and all that, it looks like he is going to be too scared to go back for a little while. Mira knows some parts of the Tower of Joy because of her father, and I think she's going to tell him, she's going to tell him what he knows, and then he might go back at a later date when he's not so scared of actually being in the Weirwood Network, and then figure out the rest. But I don't think it's going to happen this season. I think they're going to have bigger conflicts to worry about, and that'll be something that kind of falls to the wayside.
Well, I'm going to quickly answer. I do think it's going to happen this season just because the actor Eddie Iyer, who played Gerald Hightower this season, tweeted, "Oh, you guys are going to see so much more of Robert Aguo, whatever his name is, the guy who played young Ned this season." He's like, "Look out for Robert Aguo's acting this season or something." So I think that there's going to be more young Ned, which makes me believe that they're going to show Tower of Joy this season. T?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, James, because it would make no sense to show us that scene and not show us further on, unless that scene was just about Bran being able to make contact in a dream. Other than that, people are gonna forget. So they have to finish what was in the tower to save it for the next season. People are like, "What are you talking about? I don't remember that." They might just remember the fight scene, but not the whole scene where he heard like a woman scream or a baby cry. I can't tell the difference. So I think that they have to show us the rest. Otherwise, that scene was pointless. And then they risk that people will forget. Because, like, show watchers only, they forget a lot of shit. So that would be a dumb move on their part.
Jerry?
I'm going to say never. Hashtag Tinker Jasso rant. And I'm also going to say, yeah, we are going to see more young Ned. And that the, either the labor screens, baby screens confirmed it enough for me. But we're also going to see another scene where young Ned is carrying that baby and holding it in Winterfell. And you're going to see the line spoken from the books where let him be raised by, like, let him think as if, like with his brothers. I forget what the exact line goes, but you know what I'm talking about. Something about, like, as if they're brothers.
Oh, wait. If I may, real quick, question for all of you guys. Since we are supposed to see more young Ned, do you think we get the tourney at Harrenhal this season?
Yes.
And you guys in the chat, too.
I think we get Night of the Laughing Tree is coming. There's a reason we saw that Lyanna and a horse.
Just a quick reminder, guys, no talk about episode 5 in the chat, please. If I see it again, I will be forced to do a kick, and I don't want to do that because I'm a nice guy. But what was the question, Don? Sorry, I was preoccupied with what was going on in the chat.
Will we get to see the tourney at Harrenhal this season?
I hope so. I hope so, especially if Mira and Bran are going to talk about it. I think it's a possibility, that's for sure. T, you got to answer that question?
I don't think we'll see it. We might get a discussion talking about it, but I don't see them putting that in there.
Jerry, did you answer that question?
Yeah, I said that I think we're totally going to see that scene, that it was no mistake to see that Lyanna came in riding on a horse. I think we're going to see the Night of the Laughing Tree scene. Sorry. We might even get to see a young Rhaegar. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
That would be beyond epic to actually see Rhaegar.
Yeah. I don't know if but we might see him. We might see just some guy dressed up as him.
But do you believe in D&D
to
actually do it?
Yes.
Really? Because I don't see them doing it. I think you have to show us what's in the tower.
I fuck the tower.
We will move on to the next question from David Adams. And the question is, will Davos have a further discussion with Mel about Shireen, or will he leave it alone now? Does he have to find out? I'll answer this question first. I've been kind of going with this kind of prediction that he will find out this season, but it's not in Davos's character to slay Mel. I think he will begrudgingly. He won't forgive her necessarily. He won't even have to be nice to her. But I just don't think it's in his character to slay Mel. I just think he will find out, and it's going to be a poignant, sorrowful moment, but he will not kill Mel. Jerry?
He's eventually going to find something more out, because we see him standing over Shireen's grave in the the trailer before the season started. So he's going to eventually find something out. I don't think he's going to do anything to Mel, just the way he didn't do anything to the criminal Brienne. So yeah, that's my opinion there. He's just going to be sad Davos.
T?
I'm sorry, I forgot the question. What was the question?
Essentially, will Davos find out about Shireen? About Mel burning Shireen?
He will. It's going to be probably when they're about to all leave the wall. I think that she'll probably tell him. You know what? No, I don't see her actually tell. Maybe on the way down he sees a grave and maybe he hears it, but I don't see her actually telling him that Shireen's dead and Davos letting her still live. I just don't see that. So I'm going to say no, he finds out a different way, but I don't think he's going to kill her either.
I think it's going to be similar to the Tyrese Carroll scene from The Walking Dead. If you remember that, when Carol told Tyrese that she killed his boo. Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of similar to that. Don Willie?
AU Pack Mule in chat said that he, I believe it's he, but yeah, they said that they believe that Davos is going to find the carved stag by the pyre that Shireen was on. And I think that's probably what's going to happen, because we saw a very small clip of Davos kneeling in front of what it looked like to be ashes and picking up something. So, yeah, I think that he'll be able to put two and two together. He won't need Melisandre to tell him, but I think he will be ridiculously pissed off at her. And even though he may not kill her, I think definitely the relationship will be far more broken than it ever has been before, to the point where she might wind up sacrificing herself.
I could see that, yeah. Go ahead, Jerry.
I could see. I think I agree with Packnell that he's gonna find the thing at the pyre, but I think he's gonna have to know that that's where Shireen was burned before going to the pyre. Else he's just going up to random pyres all sad and be like, "Oh man, we got burned."
Well, no, I think it's going to be a thing of him going back to the camp. On their march south, they're probably going to stop by, or pass by where they were already camped before, looking for hey, what the hell happened to Stannis' army? How did they lose? Because remember, the burning of Shireen is what got a lot of the camp to desert him in the first place. So he's, probably just looking for evidence of, because since Melisandre is not giving him any concrete answers, I think Davos is just going to want to know for himself what happened. How was it that, Stannis, got into that position where he got killed by Brienne, and then also what happened to Shireen, because nobody's giving me any answers at all, and I need to know something. So I think he's going to go back to the last encampment just to see if he can find anything. And I think that's where he'll find the stag and be like, oh man, you know what? I know what happened now. Melisandre, me and you are finished. I don't care if you brought back Jon from the dead, God damn it. You can't bring back this burned little girl right now. And if it wasn't for the fact that I might need you to bring back somebody later, I would kill you right now.
No, I still don't think he'll. I expect him. I don't expect him to hey, Mel, you burned Shireen. Let's go get some tea and crumpets. I'm not expecting that. I just don't think it's in character to kill her. I just think he's just gonna be really pissed off and sad. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Sad Davos.
Yeah, him and John can sit in the corner and listen to Taking Back Sunday together. It's both going to be emo. So we are going to. Do you have something to say, Jerry?
No, I was going to say maybe they can get Tormund in there, but he's a little too happy. But they got the trio, the bromance trio.
All right, so we are going to move on to the next question from Outcast Team 123. This is a good one. Will we finally see our favorite region, Dorne, again this episode? I'll let Jerry go first on this one.
Yeah, I think we will. Dorne sounds similar. Might as well, let's do it.
T?
I guess. I mean, we do need to find out what else is going on down there. So it's going to have to happen eventually. I'm not really interested in Dorne, but I do think that they didn't wrap it all the way up. So we might get them. But I think it's only going to be like maybe a minute or two of a scene, and then that's it. I don't think you're going to get like a lot of information.
Willie?
Fuck Dorne on the show. That's my answer.
Very eloquently stated. I don't know. They do obviously got to go do something to finish it up, because as we know that Elia Sand is in charge of Dorne, and we got to figure out how that's all going to play out. I don't want to see it this episode because, like I said, I have a policy where I give -2 points whenever I see Dorne. So, just for the sake of the rating of the episode, I hope Dorne's not in it. Yeah, we'll move on. We'll hopefully we get a happier question next. And it is from Alicia Kingston, and the question is, what are the odds of the little birds being the ones to kill the High Sparrow in the upcoming episode or the next? I'll let Don Willie go first on this one.
I honestly don't think that the High Sparrow dies this season. I mean, look, everyone wants to see him die, but if he were going to die, I would say probably episode 10, and will it be the little birds? Well, you know what? That brings up something very interesting, because he claims to be this pious man for the people. The little birds seem to be made up of some of the poorest kids in the city. They're being abused by some of their parents, malnourished, whatever. So I think that if you were going to send anyone to kill a High Sparrow and have it done in a way where no one would see it coming, yeah, send in the little birds, and I think that that would definitely work, just in the terms of he wouldn't see it coming, and I think that most of the fans wouldn't see it coming either. But if that does happen, I'm going to say that would probably be like end of the season or maybe the beginning of next season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely don't think he's going to die until after Cersei's trial by combat, which I don't think is going to happen until like episode 10 or something. So I mean, he can't die until then at least. And I don't know. I feel like it will be Sir Robert Strong to dash his skull against the pavement to end the High Sparrow, personally. But what do you guys think, Jerry?
I hadn't even thought of that possibility. I thought the kids were going to kill anyone. It could be Kevin, but you know what? That's kind of plausible. So I'll throw 40% out there on that. I don't know. I still think Robert Strong is the number 1 candidate, but now I got them as number 2. And then if it's not them they're killing, or if it's not High Sparrow they're killing, then it's going to be Kevin they're killing.
T?
I don't see the kids killing anyone, to be honest. I don't think that Cersei would trust them enough, even though she knows that she now has control over them in a certain way. but I don't think she would trust them enough, and I don't think she's wise enough to actually pull that type of plan out. I think that most likely it might be well, it's not Robert Strong, it's a mountain on the show. So I think it's going to probably be him that does it. Because if you looked at some of the scenes, he kind of had the idea that he's already going to die. And he has a smirk on his face every time he looks like he's going to die, which means he saw it coming. And I think that it's going to be, I think it's going to be like big consequences once he does die. And like Kevin or Kevin or however you want to say his name, like he says, you know, you can't just mess with this man because it'll just break out a bunch of civil wars. So I think that if he does die, it's going to be it's not going to be by the kids. I don't think Cersei's that smart to pull off that type of plan. So it's going to be like someone from the King's Guard.
So you think he's like Kevin Spacey in Seven, where it's like he's planning his death, and his death is going to have a negative purpose, even though he's a negative person.
Yeah, I think that if you look back at some of the scenes, like the one with Jaime, he's smiling because I think that he thought it was Cersei going to force her way in, and then you see that he was already prepared for his death. And then when he was kneeling, praying, and Tommen and the guards were coming in, he was smirking before he turned around, and then he looked back and he said, "Oh, Your Grace." He didn't think it was going to be him. So I think that he knows that Cersei's going to try to attack him, but I think he has a plan, like, if this were to happen to me, this needs to be executed. And I think he knows that that's what's going to happen. So, yeah.
Right on. We will... This is a question geared for T. It's from Layla J. Lovan, and the question is, do you guys think we will see Tyrion ride a dragon this season? T, go ahead.
I do not have a problem with short people, okay? I just want to make that clear right now. I'm just saying, when you close your eyes, like, okay, everyone, just close your eyes real quick. Now, imagine one of those big-ass dragons. Are your eyes closed?
Okay.
Close your eyes. Okay. You too, Darn Willie, because I know you're not. So close your eyes. Now imagine Tyrion. You see how short he is? You see how big that dragon is? Okay. How is he getting on there? Is someone going to, like, give him, like, a boost up every time? Like, how is he going to climb on his dragon every time? Let's say he does have a saddle and that it can form on the back of the neck or something and he can ride it. Cool. How is he getting on there every time? That was my thing. When you close your eyes, I can't see it. So if you can see it, if he always has like a booster stool or a step that hangs on his saddle, so whenever he goes, he doesn't need no one to help. Like, break it down for me so I can understand. So I don't know. Possibly, yeah, but I just don't see him getting up there and riding a dragon. Just it doesn't. I don't see the sense in it.
Well, I think you go first, James.
Yeah, I would say this is how I imagine. I imagine the dragon is going to lay its wing down, and he's going to like crawl up the wing. Like the dragon's going to help him get up. Like he's either going to lay his wing down, or it's like going to put his head down so Tyrion can crawl up his face. Something along those lines.
Yeah, but it's not okay. Dany's not the tallest person. However, like even when she been out, she had a little trouble getting on there. Tyrion is shorter than her, so is he like gonna lay all the way down and then like almost break his neck just so that Tyrion can climb on and then roll up and then go like?
The wing's probably about this thick. I mean, Tyrion could step on this thick, something that thick. He can get that high if you lay the wing on the ground.
Yeah, I think laying the wing on the down flat is how it's going to work.
That's one thing I did. Or I think he's going to build a little steps on the saddle, like when you hop into a big truck or an Escalade.
That's the only way I can see it happening is if he builds this like contraction that like he can step on something, or I just don't see it. I don't see it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't see Tyrion ride dragons.
Or he could or the dragon could like lay down its tail and like he can just run up the tail up its back. You know, he's acrobatic. He can like do a little. He can even do some somersaults while he gets on the back.
Tyrion does flips in the book. He's like flip, flip, flip.
Okay, if he does backflip after backflip and then gets like a little bit of a jump and he got some air time and then lands on it, cool. I don't see him riding dragons, but it's cool. He can talk to them. You know, he had a deep conversation. They understood him and stuff like that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't see him riding dragons. He could be their best friend, but that's about it.
Well, Don, will you think Tyrion's a ride dragon?
Well, you know, first off, you know, I would just like to apologize on behalf of the rest of the panel for, you know, T's discrimination against the vertically challenged. You know, Tyrion is a good man who has tried his damnedest to just be friends with dragons. And remember, this is the guy who created his own saddle to be able to ride a horse because he couldn't ride a regular horse. And then he took the extra step of when he saw that Bran was crippled and wouldn't be able to ride, he made another design for Bran. So I think it is very possible that he could make a saddle that would allow him to ride a dragon, to be able to get on and off the dragon without much problem. And, you know, again, apologies from myself and the rest of the members of the panel for T's slanderous and outrageous and just so defamatory comments.
You're probably going to have to make one more apology for me because Bran also still needs help getting on this saddle that he made for him. So I'm just saying, unless the show shows me that he's been working on some things or like the dragon does tricks and lays on his back or neck so that he can roll over, like you're going to have to get me into that moment. So I don't see it. I really can't see it.
Well,
like when I close my eyes, I can't see him riding dragons.
Preach it, Willie. Preach.
Helen May she brought something in the chat that says, didn't Balerion have change or something so Aegon could pull himself up to the saddle?
Yeah, Balerion was huge. Like, the difference between Balerion and Aegon the ratio was way worse than Viserion and Tyrion.
But Tyrion has to have like super arm strength or something. Like
he does in the books. He does have super arm strength.
Like, you gotta give me something like give him doing some pull-ups and push-ups to give like some strong arms, and I'm like, okay, he could probably pull himself up with a chain. I don't know. I'm just saying the show hasn't shown us anything, but he can make saddles for cripples. No offense, I'm not trying to be rude or mean, but I'm just saying they showed us that he can make special saddles. I get that, but if you don't show me like him doing something where it shows he had upper arm strength or something that shows that he can get on that dragon, because when he was talking to the dragon, I was trying to see how he could jump on the neck right then and there, and it looks like it's going to be a super struggle, guys. Like, I know I'm not the only one, and I just can't see it. I physically can't see it.
Look, in the books, Tyrion had like these monkey long arms, and he was able to. That's how he was able to like swing an axe and stuff like that. They still show him swinging an axe in the show better than he should be able to swing an axe with Peter Dinklage's normal arms. But so they'll just use the same thing, same explanation for the show as far as getting on the dragon.
To answer,
go ahead, James.
I was just say to answer the question, just because I guess the route the show is going with Tyrion.
Yeah, I mean,
John Willie.
Look, I think that Tyrion will be able to get on a dragon, despite T's protest to the contrary. And look, I think. Remember, this is a fantasy show. Fantasy. Fiction. Things can happen in fiction that do not necessarily need to happen in real life, such as fireproof ladies and dragons and guys just saying Hodor and ice zombies. So just accept the fact that Tyrion can and will ride a dragon because shit.
Tyrion's wingspan to height ratio is ridiculous. It's like way better than Kawhi Leonard's. Like it's huge.
Look, you guys, I don't hate short people. I have friends that are short, so I don't hate them. But I'm just saying I can't see it. Now, if the show pulls... Huh?
T is a friend of the small people community.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not that short, but I'm just saying, like, I get it. I'm just... Like, if they show it, then it's like, okay, I'll be able to see it, because obviously they showed it. I'm just saying, as of right now, pre-Rotten Dragon, I don't see him doing it. I mean, they can extend the neck, and the dragon can kind of lay down, and then he kind of hops on, and then it lifts his head up. But, I mean, he would have to have, like, a real serious connection with these dragons in order for them to be like, yeah, I'll let you ride my neck. So I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying it can't ever happen. I'm just saying I can't see it. That's all. And once again, I have no problem with short people, so don't come for me, okay? Okay.
Hashtag short people are people too.
Short lives matter.
I'm just kidding. We are going to move on from the Tyrion dragon riding. We'll just move on. We are going to now go to Aaron Sarabor's question. Do you think all the children of the forest are female? Don Willie.
I mean, it would appear so. I mean, we haven't gotten any. Yeah, we haven't gotten anything that indicates otherwise. And even with the supposed leaked picture from this episode, and no, I don't want any extras. Damn it, don't you put any extras in the chat room. But that supposed leaked picture, it only showed female children of the forest, and we've only seen male White Walkers. So could there be a connection there? Who knows? But yeah, even in the books, I don't think we saw any male children of the forest. But then again, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, we only have a very brief description of them. So
yeah, well, I think in the books it's more kind of like it almost seems like they're kind of gender neutral. Like they don't really have a gender at all.
They don't mention gender in the books, at least in the main series.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's the route they're going in the show.
I'll go next. In the World of Ice and Fire, they imply that there's two sexes, but there's no proof. But it is implied in the World of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, they just might be doing like their own thing in the show where they're just gonna have all the children be females.
If Danny's fireproof, anything could happen. Fuck this.
T.
Oh, sorry, I was in the chat room. What was the question again?
Do you think all the children of the forest are females?
I don't know. What's I think the one Leaf is a female, but I'm not sure. They don't explain it, but the way that it's starting to look like, yeah, all the children of the forest are females, or what's left are females, and that they're making all the White Walkers males. So I could see that happening, but it doesn't really clarify if it is or not females or not, or if it's just females or if it's both.
Yeah, in the books, I actually kind of thought the one named Ash, I thought that was the guy, but they didn't really make it clear. So I think we've all pretty much answered the question, and we are going to go next to Alicia Kingston's question. And the question is, if while the showdown is going on at the Sept, Cersei has Lady Olenna murdered, could Loras end up being the valonqar that kills Cersei in revenge? T?
No, I don't. No. I think. No. Loras is like. That man is so broken. He's kind of like Theon in a ways, but Theon still had a little bit more heart than Loras, I think. Loras, he looks so defeated that he seems like he just wants to die, to be honest, at this point. So I don't know. That would be dumb. I'm sorry.
Theon wanted to die too.
Huh?
Theon wanted to die after he got sausaged.
In the books he did. In the show, Theon still wants to live. Otherwise, Theon would have went to the wall and just took his punishment then and there. But as far as the show, Loras I don't think he got the heart to actually do it at the point that he is now.
Theon may have a little bit more heart, but Loras has a little bit more dick. Don Willie?
Does he?
Well, as far as we know. Don Willie?
Imagine if the Sept sausaged him too.
Okay, yeah, anyway, so, could Loras be the valonqar? See, here's the thing, right? They have never even mentioned the word valonqar in this show, not even once. So I have a hard time believing that all of a sudden now they're going to bring up valonqar and make Broken Loras the person who kills Cersei. You know, look, even in the show, Cersei has always talked about how her and Jaime came into the world together. They will leave the world together. So I have a hard time believing that Cersei would die any other way than by the hands of Jaime. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I say that, yeah, Cersei believes they end the world together, leave the world together, but I think eventually Jaime will be like, fuck that. Fuck that. I ain't having any part of that business, and it's just going to be Cersei to die by herself. I don't think at that point Loras will kill Cersei. I mean, I do think it might be possible if Loras gains his strength back, that he could come back and kill Cersei. It would make sense, because if he was the one to do it, because in the books he is a valonqar, but in the show he's not, and they cut out valonqar in the show, so that might be the reason why they cut out valonqar in the show. So I don't think it'll happen at that point, though. I think Tommen needs to go before Cersei gets it.
I do know that those preseason leaks said that Lancel was or not Lancel. Loras was going to kill Cersei, but those leaks are proven to be kind of bunk. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I think it's possible. I still always, they did indeed made it a point not to show the valonqar part of that prophecy when Maggie the Frog was talking to young Cersei. So I guess it kind of gives them flexibility on what they can do. Maybe it'll be Loras. I always thought it'd be more poetic if it was Jaime, but yeah, with Jaime going off the Riverlands, I don't know if it's going to happen. Anyone else have anything to say on this situation, or shall we move on? Okay. By the way, guys, I don't know if you saw, but we're not going to be taking any more questions. I have 6 more to go through, and so we're not going to be taking any more after that.
Once again, I'm sorry. I do not have a problem with short people, okay? It's cool. If you guys want to ride a dragon, I will give you a boost, and y'all can just have at it. I'm just saying I couldn't see it, but I have no problem with short people, okay? It's all love over here. If you need a boost, I got you. Lock the fingers and go whoop.
All right. With that out of the way, the next question is from Kyle's Fukin Chickens. And the question is, do you think Jon goes into the crypts episode 10? And if Bran leaves the caves, does he meet up with Jon and Sansa? T, you want to go first on this one?
No. Come back to me.
Wait, what was the question again? So what are the caves?
Will Jon go into the crypts of Winterfell in episode 10? And if Bran leaves the caves, does he reunite with Sansa and Jon?
Okay, I'll take it. Jon, yes, I think he'll go into the crypts of Winterfell. There's something special about those crypts, at least in the books. The show, I think he'll still do it. You never know. Dan and Dave, they might fuck things up. Who the fuck knows? Will Bran ever meet up with them? Not in like body form. He will reach out, he will meet up with all of them telepathically.
Don Willie.
All right. So, yeah, Jon going into the crypts of Winterfell. I mean, look, they haven't really made that a significant thing. Like, so far, I think we've only actually been into the crypts 3 times in the entire series. You have episode 1 where Rabbit shows up and he wants to go see the statue of Lyanna. You have, 4 times. Because you have when Osha and Rickon, Rickon, and Bran and Hodor go down there. And then also you have when...
after Ned died.
Yeah, after Ned died, when Mr. Lewin went down there with Bran. So, and then you have Littlefinger and Sansa going in there at the beginning of last season.
And then when they're hiding, I guess when they're hiding when after Ned dies, the first one, and then Littlefinger. That's a 4?
Yeah, that's the 4 times they've been there, and they've never made it they've never made it a big thing. It's So I mean, like, he could go down there if they decided that that's where they're going to take it, but if they don't, I'm not going to be I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it.
In regards to I think Jon Snow's going to go into the crypts. But aside from that, because I have a feeling like him and Sansa are going to go down there together, maybe, because Sansa went down there before. But I also believe that, I mean, if Bran's going to leave the tree, he might as well reunite with them, right? I mean, why not? I guess is my answer to that question. He might as well. And it would be a great moment, obviously, and we would all fist pump, and it would be we would all love it, and probably give the episode 10. But yeah.
You guys would.
Not Jerry. Not the.
I'm too. Well, I won't get into that, but let's just say I'm too Martin.
All right, we will move on to the next question. It is from Armin Tamzarian, and the question is: will we ever see Howland Reed in the show? And if so, how will he be introduced? I can't remember if Rob sent anyone to him in the show. He did not send anyone to him in the show. I could potentially see it that he would be in the show if, especially if Bran does leave the caves. It could be like Bran and Mira mission to go to see Howland Reed. I don't know. What do you guys think, Jerry?
Wait, so say that again.
Will we see Howland Reed in the present day in the show?
I mean, I think, well, eventually, I don't know. Maybe towards the end, because, I mean, I've explained it before. Every unsolved mystery comes from Howland Reed. Every unsolved mystery is in Greywater Watch. Everything is there. It's all just converged into Greywater Watch. I think me and Don Willie already made jokes about how many things were in this Greywater Watch. Even things from our world, the Greywater Watch.
T?
I'm not sure. If we do see him, it won't be this season unless it's in a flashback. But
we saw him in a flashback already.
Huh?
We saw him in a flashback already.
That's what I'm saying. If you see him again in another flashback, that's where you'll see him. But I don't see you I don't see like the older version of him, like the present. I don't think we'll see him. But it's a possibility if Bran leaves the tree. But I don't know. I don't think we will see him. Only in flashbacks. That's what I'm trying to say.
Don Willie?
Unless he is going to be the one to actually finish up the story from the Tower of Joy, I don't think that they're actually going to show him. They've already shown him in the flashback, so now we kind of know what he looks like or what he should look like. And is it me, or did he seem kind of old to be hanging out with, teenage Ned Stark or like 20-year-old Ned Stark. He looked like he was in his like late 30s, early 40s, or something like that. I'm like, damn, he's going to show up with, like massive bald spot, nothing gray hair or something. But
Don Willie, I see what you're doing. You're trying to throw some tinfoil here. You're like, he's a bit older, maybe 20 years later. He might look a little bit like Jonathan Pryce. Is that what you're saying?
No,
is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing here?
No, we are not doing that one. No. All right? I've already done enough tinfoil. If you guys want to see all the tinfoil I had, go to my page, check out whatever tinfoil is there. No, I do not buy that one, okay? I may not dismiss it, but I'm not buying it either.
What I did think was weird about him was how tall he was. Like he was like only a couple inches shorter than Ned, which is the same height as Robert Baratheon. So technically, in the show, we got Howland Reed is the same height as Robert Baratheon in the show. How about that?
I don't think. I mean, if he's older, I don't think that's weird. I mean, it's like your liege lord asks you to come with them to take care of a mission. I mean, it is what it is. Like when Rob had like the older. Of course, he was the king of the North, but you know what I'm saying, right? I just don't think it's weird. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, well, you know what? Look, I think they actually decided to cast him a little bit taller because they knew that T was going to have something negative to say about him if he was too short. So yeah, they just decided, you know what? Yeah, we don't want to hear it from this particular person. We don't want to get ragged on for like just as another thing that we screwed up on somehow. So let's just make him taller.
That's true. Mira and Jojen are suspiciously taller.
Yeah, they didn't want to hear any disparaging remarks about anyone else's stature. So
they didn't want to answer the question. Can Jojen ride a dragon? Can Howland Reed ride a dragon? They didn't want to answer those questions.
I think this short thing is gonna be sticking with you for a while, T.
I think so too. I just want to say I don't have a problem with short people. Just saying, I don't see Tyrion riding a dragon without help. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Short people are cool, okay? Like.
Oh, they just can't do anything without
like 5'7". That's short, so.
Oh, okay. So short people. Just remember that short people can do things, but only if they have a tall person's help.
If you want to ride a dragon, he's trying to twist my words. If you want to ride a dragon, you might need assistance, and I think you're vain. You're really vain if you feel like, oh, I don't need help riding a dragon. Yeah, you do.
I don't need help riding a dragon.
Oh, okay. So if they say they don't need help, it's a problem. Oh, okay. So
see, I think that's self-hate. That's self-hate for being short. And there's nothing wrong with you being short. You live your life the way you choose to. I'm just saying. You might come into some issues trying to hop on a dragon, that's all.
Well,
just remember that, folks. Just remember that.
Moving on, we have a question from the North Remembers. When will we get the mercy scenes? I don't think we're getting the one in particular because I think they kind of already did it in a different way with Meryn Trant.
Yeah, I agree. We already got that with Meryn Trant. We will get probably the acting, the mummer scene later, maybe like episode 8 or something like that. One of the back end episodes. What do y'all guys think?
Yeah, I think we'll probably get that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said anyone else. Go ahead. Go ahead, T.
Yeah. I agree with Jerry. I think we'll probably get towards the back end, maybe episode 6 or 7. I just don't think they're going to put so much into this episode if they're wise. I think they'll stick to, just a few different storylines, and hopefully we get a lot of White Walker scenes.
Don Willie?
Well, I do think we're going to get the, the Mumbers show. I think that's kind of been foreshadowed just a little bit. I mean, because now she is learning how to lie, and lying is an act. And what are mummers other than actors? So yeah, to me, it makes sense that we would at least get that part of the Mercy chapter. Obviously, we don't have Rack the Sweetling, so they've already done away with that by killing off Mirren Trent. And why is no one in King's Landing concerned about the fact that a King's Guard got killed while they were on a diplomatic mission to Essos? Just something.
They've completely glossed that over, especially with we definitely know that Mace Tyrell is back in King's Landing. I guess Meryn Trant didn't matter in the end, even though he was the only named Kingsguard on the show, still alive. It just doesn't matter. Anyone else?
No.
All right, so this is from Outcast Teen 123. It's will Edmure be captured the Riverlands, and that's why Sansa sends Bran. Well, I think Edmure's already captured after the Red Wedding, but I think we're going to be seeing Edmure here pretty soon whenever Jaime goes to Riverlands, so it'll be cool to see him again. I don't think there needs to be much said about this, but go ahead if you have anything to say.
I just think that the reason they're going to go to the Riverlands is to go get more troops. They need, they got 3,000 to make up because Stannis couldn't even kill one of their troops. So.
Well, really, all you need is Bran, because she was able to take out 6 of the 20 good men.
They had 5,000. Now they have 4,994 men left. So you got to find a way to make up those 2,994. I think the Vale is going to bring about maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500. They're going to have to go. The Mormonts maybe have about 500. You're probably going to have to go get 1,000 from the Riverlands or something like that.
I have a quick question. So, if she's slain Stannis, do you think that she buried him, or do you think she just left him there at the tree? Because I don't think
they found the body, so
they did.
I'm guessing they just left him there. She just left him in the tree.
Yeah, when Ramsay was talking to Roose, they said they found that they knew he was dead, so it's assumed that they found the body.
Now that's kind of messed up if she didn't bury him, but.
Oh, that's the messed up part.
I'm just saying, you gotta have a code.
Oh, you gotta go. Oh, okay. You have to have a code. That's it. That's where you draw the line. That's what she stepped over.
Don Willie, anything to add here?
I mean, listen, Edmure, unfortunately, look, it's like, you know what? I kind of feel bad for that actor because it just seems like he always plays the people who are getting punked and clowned. I mean, in Rome, he played Brutus. Brutus got punked, to the point where he almost, I think he did wind up killing himself at the end. Then he plays Edmure. Edmure is, getting smacked around by his uncle and just talked down to the entire time. And then on his wedding day, when he's like, "Oh, I actually did give me a nice looking bride," what happens? The man gets dragged away in chains, and then we haven't seen him since. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that anyone is going to rescue Edmure. I think Edmure is tucked away in the basement, and nobody cares about him. Just like T doesn't care about short people. So, that's my answer for that one.
She don't care about short people, but she cares about Stannis' dead body.
Oh, I can't win with y'all. I'm about to just be Lady Stoneheart and not care about none of y'all. I don't care if Tyrion rides dragons. I don't care about Jorah and his stone herpes. I don't care about Scooby finding his Scooby snacks. I don't care about none of that anymore.
Well, moving on to our last question. This is from The North Remembers, and she asks, will we see which northern houses are supporting the North versus Bolton? Essentially, are we going to see who's supporting Jon this episode? What do you guys think?
No, I think whenever they send Davos to go to the Mormonts is when we find out that I think the only North house that's supporting Jon is the Mormonts, and then the Manderleys are going to switch, and that's it. That's going to happen later.
Anyone else? It's our last question. Might as well say something.
All right, so as far as the northern houses are concerned, yeah, you know what? I think that'll probably be next episode where we get Davos doing his tour around the north. You know, they'll probably do some montage or something like that. You know, and give him the 80s training music. It's like, we need your help. Only you can save the North. Will you ride with us? You know, and then they'll just show him doing that like 5 or 6 times, and flash a bunch of different sigils across the screen on shields, and then finally, like that's when he gets to the Mormonts and like, we know what's coming. The dead are coming, and winter is coming with it, or whatever it was that they had him say in the trailer. And so that'll be probably next episode when Davos is doing all that.
T?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen this episode, but eventually, I think the first stop probably will be the Mormonts, and then they'll probably break it down as far as who's going to be on their side and who's going to be on the other side.
I just gotta say, how cool would it be if John went like Kurt Russell and just started going like, Ramsay, you brought down the thunder, or you called down the thunder. Now I brought it down. Oh, I forget how. I already fucked up the quote. But he just says, "You tell him I'm coming. You tell him I'm coming, and winter is coming with me." Saying,
Okay.
Cool.
The Tombstone quote. I wasn't sure where you were going with first.
Yeah, the Tombstone quote that I fucked up.
Yeah. I think it's happening soon. Like I said, I didn't really pay too much attention to the preview, so I don't know if Davos is going to Bear Isle this episode, but it's going to be happening soon because they got to progress here with the plots here pretty quickly. So, like I said, I think definitely Mormonts is going to be on their side, and eventually the Manderleys. So, that being said, does anyone have any final thoughts they want to say? This will be the time to do it. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'll say it. I just wanted to show KFC in the chat room my shirt. I didn't want to put my boobs on the TV, but
There you go. Pound fried chicken.
there you go. That was it, and this was fun. And I'm pretty sure I'll see all of you guys in Tony's live stream in like a few hours. But this was fun as always.
Right on. Well, we'll if anyone doesn't have anything else to say, we'll start doing our roll call here. If you want to, we can promote some upcoming events because I know we have some coming. Donnelly?
Yeah, listen, I'd just like to say thank you guys for watching. Thank everyone for participating in this panel. And, thank you whoever screwed up at HBO because I was planning to do a video today, but, it'd be freaking pointless now because some of you already know what's going to happen. So, I can't even predict anything because it would already be spoilers. So, thank you to whoever at HBO screwed up. Make sure to look out for another epic battle of Ice and Fire. I think I will be on Tony's channel tonight. You can catch the Hypes Watch right after the show. I'm not going to be doing the thing that I have been doing, so we'll be on right after the show tonight at 10:05, somewhere around about. All right, and Valid the Harris.
Jerry?
Yeah, Targaryen Steamboat here. So, yeah, we're going to be doing our reaction later tonight, so be sure to check in on that. And gather your questions be ready for this time next week. And that's really all I got to say.
T, you want to sign off, defend yourself once again? And
Yeah,
Short lives matter.
I don't have a problem with short people. I love short people. I'm just saying, y'all are cool in my book. I hope you don't discriminate because I'm tall, and I won't discriminate because you're short. I'm going to leave it like that. Kingston, don't take away my breakfast privileges, and I love you guys.
right on. Yeah, my name is James Michelle. You can find my channel by typing in James Michelle, and I do Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones videos. Got my review coming out Monday, and then I have a bold TWOW prediction, who I'm going to predict who I think the epilogue will be coming up pretty soon. That being said, like I said, come join us tonight on Don Willie's channel, where we will be doing the reaction.
Epilogue or prologue?
Epilogue. Epilogue.
Oh.
Make a prediction on who I think the epilogue is going to be.
Oh, snap.
But yeah, so yeah, guys, yeah, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you guys same time next week. We'll talk to you guys then. See you guys later.